So now that Nintendo has revealed Switch 2, I do suspect that leaks and rumors surrounding the platform are probably going to slow down because a lot of the leaks, especially over the last month, were about how it looked and what the Joy-Cons looked like and the kickstand and all that stuff, and kind of verifying rumors we may have heard 6+ months ago. And in fact, this weekend, I'm going to be going through all that old stuff and putting on our certified or fake stuff for those former reports and rumors. But one thing that is going to start happening, of course, if you're going to talk about the rumors and leaks or any sort of news at this point, are going to be companies announcing games. And sure enough, if you just look at this article right here, there are a number of indie studios and even Ubisoft sort of teasing that there are going to be their games coming to Nintendo Switch 2. But as exciting as it is to see a couple indie games and stuff confirmed, I know firsthand that most indie studios don't actually have dev kits, and hey, if it's on Switch 1, it's going to play on Switch 2 because of backwards compatibility. So it doesn't even mean there's going to be a Switch 2 version of those games. What I'm actually more excited about are obviously in the AAA space, whenever we get some AAA game reveals for Switch 2, which could happen as soon as next week with the Xbox Direct coming up. But also, how about some old Nintendo IP coming back? Now, there's a lot of old Nintendo IP we could talk about, even stuff that's a bit more recent. You can have like Punch-Out come back or a proper brand new F-Zero game and whatever. But what I want to actually focus in on is Star Fox. And the reason we're going to focus in on Star Fox is because one of the key minds behind the franchise that, by the way, no longer looks at Nintendo, might have been teasing that Star Fox is coming back. And just because he's not an official Nintendo employee, neither is Masahiro Sakurai, but we all know he's probably working on the next Smash Bros. So could obviously be hired as an outside consultant or an outside director, all that stuff, or whatever's happening. Because this was posted, well, over on X. And before I dive into that, just remind you, on that road to 140,000 subscribers, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel. Let's head on over here to Takaya Imamura. I literally butchered these Japanese names. I'm so sorry. But you see the Star Fox pic says, hopefully the Nintendo Switch 2, we could finally see them again. And of course, they're showing Star Fox and the crew. And hey, there he is saying, we will definitely meet, which heavily suggests that Star Fox is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Now, to put some more context behind this, let's look at his background here. If we click on this, he actually was making Omega 6, the Triangle Stars, but if you translate his bio here, he says, he retired from Nintendo in 2021. He is a professor at Osaka International College of Technology. He also works as a freelancer. That's the key point here. He's a freelancer right now. He has been in charge of art direction for Star Fox, F-Zero, and the Legend of Zelda series. So 3 pretty big franchises for Nintendo. In 2022, he released the manga Omega 6 in France. In 2024, he released the Switch version of Omega 6, the Triangle Star. So he still put a game out on Switch. But the point is, he is now a freelancer. And as a freelancer, he is suggesting Star Fox is coming back. That's really cool. Because again, as we look at this tweet, he's telling this person, the Star Fox Pix account, we will definitely meet in terms of Star Fox coming back to Nintendo Switch 2. Now, we all know like Star Fox has had a hard time sort of moving beyond Star Fox 64. They had Adventures, which to me is actually really cool. They had Assault as well. I enjoy both of those games. And then Star Fox Zero. And Star Fox Zero was a fairly good game. Some of the sections involving the gamepad and moving the robot around, I kind of felt were just kind of not great, but some of you guys maybe enjoyed it. And I did enjoy Star Fox Zero, but it didn't go on to have a lot of success. It doesn't help that it was a Wii U game and one of the few Nintendo published Wii U games that hasn't come to Switch. But I do want to note that I feel like that game was also still relying heavily on the formula set up by Star Fox 64. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Like Zelda was running on the A Link to the Past formula pretty much until Breath of the Wild. So running on a similar formula isn't always bad, but you got to find a way to be creative and inventive in that formula. And Star Fox Zero didn't really feel that way. Again, the stuff they were creative and inventive with were things that felt like the gamepad was being forced into use instead of it actually being innovative and a great addition to the game. It was like a forced addition. At least that's what it felt like to me. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I know Miyamoto was also behind that game, and he was being told to try to make justify the gamepad. Anyways, doesn't matter. It did lead to us having a great little Muppets thing at E3 that was really, really cool. But Well, besides that, I do think that Star Fox is in a unique position for Nintendo where it could become a nice comeback story for them. But they're going to have to reinvent the wheel. They're either going to have to completely reboot the franchise, and yeah, you're going to keep some of the same core characters, of course, but start with a clean, fresh slate where you're free from the N64 shackles. Or if you're not going to do that, you got to start being willing to do maybe some ground and air missions. So you still have your on-rails air missions that are a lot of fun, and you got this Rogue Squadron style combat in the air, and it's all that crazy fun stuff. So what I would like to see with Star Fox is then to go in a direction that includes really expanding what Star Fox is. So as an example, I really like the Star Fox Adventure. So going with a air Rogue Squadron style thing for like half the adventure, I think that would be really, really cool. Like, I know they've always done like this on rails thing, but if they open it up a bit more to be more like a Rogue Squadron or the modern day Squadrons style of gameplay, I think could go really, really well. You have a lot of dog fights and a lot of really cool collectible things and other stuff you can do. You know, kind of a crossover, I guess. I would say you have some levels on rails, some that are more open. But then I also want to go on ground. I want ground missions like an adventure. Obviously, much grander and more expansive and more adventurous. I think there's a lot you could do with that and introduce a lot more story elements and characters. You know, we could explore space bases and do all sorts of really, really cool things that, again, some of it we've dabbled in a little bit in prior Star Fox games, but we've never had that full experience that I think takes Star Fox really to that next level. Like, if we think about, you know, other games out there that are similar for Nintendo, like they have one other sci-fi style game in Metroid. You know, we don't really do the sky missions. It's all ground-based, level-based, puzzle-based, and you can have a lot of that going on here. I feel like you can find a sweet spot to cross over. Kind of a Metroid style gameplay combined with the aerial stuff that Star Fox is known for. I think there's a really, really nice happy medium you can hit in there. You can have boss fights that take place both in the air and on the ground. You can even have one fight that is air and ground dependent. Like, it could just have different phases during the boss fight that could lead to you having to do different things. And sometimes you'll have your team with you, and sometimes your team won't be with you, or sometimes you'll be fighting on the ground. Well, they'll be fighting in the air, and it can create these really epic moments that I feel like Star Fox has had in the past. We've had some pretty some really surprising epic moments, especially towards the end of certain levels or stages. But I feel like Star Fox has always been kind of held back a little bit just because Star Fox 64 was so popular and hit so well. They just never quite figured out how to go beyond that. They experimented, but never quite hit the nail on the head. As much as, again, I like Star Fox Adventure and Assault. So that's what I would like to see. I hope that this is a great sign from somebody who worked on the art direction and everything, that it is coming back. Again, they basically said that Star Fox is coming to Nintendo Switch 2, and they are a freelancer. So while they no longer officially work for Nintendo, they could have been hired to do some work, hence why they know. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, right now there is no Star Fox games announced. Hopefully, they're not just teasing something like Star Fox Zero coming back. I like Zero, but I want something new. I want something fresh. It wasn't really well received anyways. I don't think it's great to just bring that back. So even though, again, we did get those puppets out of it at E3 that I thought were pretty cool. Anyways, guys, you let me know what you think about this all down in the comments below. Do you want to see Star Fox come back? Do you think Switch 2 is the right platform for it? And man, oh man, does it feel great to be talking about games for Nintendo Switch 2, even if this is not one that comes to fruition, despite the fact that one of the lead art direction people are out there doing it. I just can't wait. I'm just excited to talk about it. Also, I do want to apologize here. I keep noticing it. I know the camera's going in and out and having all this issue focusing. We are recording with a webcam because here's our primary camera, and it is toast. It no longer works. I did talk to some people at Canon. We might be getting some loaner cameras for a little bit while I figure out what the next step is for cameras. But shout out to them over there if that does happen, because I will appreciate that. But we got a long ways to go, folks. So Switch 2 stuff's just beginning. It's just beginning. Can you believe Switch 2's been revealed? Can you believe like we're talking about a game for Switch 2 because Switch 2 was revealed? This is so exciting. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video.